I might have went a little long on the music there, but I was out of beer. So here we are, back for episode 5 now. We're on the Terry Labonte episode, the Bobby Gill episode of Bench Racing. I'm your host, Brian Danforth, here with Mr. Traveling Troy DeCaire. And in studio, we have Colton Bettis, the Bolt. Colton, say hi to everybody.
Hey, what's up?
See, he's already a pro. He's already used to it. So I seen this interview on the front stretch Saturday. By the way, we'll get to that in here in a little bit. But so we hadn't got fired yet.
No.
Our opening segment, once again, is brought to you by...
I thought you were the boss anyways.
Well, we could suck so bad I could fire myself.
All right.
But anyways, once again, the opening segment is brought to you by Raging Bull Racing Engines. And I tell you what, if you're looking for a go-kart motor, if you're looking for a motorbike deal, some kind of something, if you're looking for anything to do with karting, I would call Brandon and Brian Bull. Wouldn't you, Troy?
Absolutely.
I mean, they're giving you a free motor, right?
I'm still waiting on my free motor.
I think we need to get that going. Brandon, we want to put that on the buggy.
Doesn't necessarily have to be legal.
Yeah, I mean, we'll cheat it up. We don't even go to tech. I mean,
I need a Circle C special. Yeah. I'm tired of it.
We can't keep up with these guys. These guys are 100 pounds lighter than us. Like, I'm talking about in the go-kart. They're 200 pounds lighter in real life. But make sure you give the guys at Raging Bull Racing Engines a call. Good folks. Love those guys. Should probably be racing with them this weekend. Oh, and shout out to my man Brandon Bull of Raging Bull. Won $500 at Ambassador the other night on a 03 Nemesis.
Dude, it'll get them tired.
Digging. Hey, he had a swoop body with high side Nerf bars. The Nerf bars are above the body.
There's so many stock car guys have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, basically, it looked carved up, but guess what? He parked it.
Hey, everything looks good in Victory Lane.
Exactly. And he put it in Victory Lane at Marion County at the Bull Ring. So good job, Brandon. But yeah, so anyways, if you're looking for anything go-kart wise, give Raging Bull Racing Engines for a good time. Call 863-944-4214. And now to the main attraction, Mr. Colton Bettis. Colton, this weekend was race number, 7 maybe?
7 or 8, yeah.
7 or 8 in the super mini late model outlaw modified mod mini stock. It's a 4-cylinder, but it's like
Super
really fast.
They got cool bodies on them. It ain't a Pinto. Yeah. That's what I know. I grew up when mini stocks, they were Pintos. They're the furthest thing from Pintos now. Dirt or pavement, they're unreal.
I got
They
you.
are super mini late models. Like that's actually a pretty good. They're late models with 13-inch tires.
They're pretty comparable to the Outlaw 4s on dirt.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's basically a small late model.
Same
right?
thing. They're angry.
Colton, you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing to drink.
No, I'm good.
Oh no, you want something? I got something for you.
Sure.
Okay.
This is great.
I mean, obviously, since you're only 10 years old and you're not of age, I brought something for you.
There you go. Nice.
So put a straw in that. That way you don't feel left out because the old guys are over here drinking. So you got a little. We'll go ahead and plug them. Got a little Capri Sun, a little Pacific cooler. Come on.
Hey, Capri Sun, if you're listening, hop on board.
Hop on board. We got a 10-year-old here that would love to plaster Capri Sun all over that super mini late model. And
He's already got more sponsors than I've ever had.
So Colton, you almost won it Saturday night, correct?
Yeah, you led some laps. So you started.
And
you started in the top 4. You started 4th where you started.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And that was only race 7 or 8 in the car. Yeah. All right, so kind of walk us through the race a little bit. Tell us what happened.
So we started 4th, and we made our way up to like 2nd, and we pat on like lap 2, and there was a couple cautions, and we started on the outside pole, and we just passed the guy on the outside, and we checked out for about 5 or 4 car lengths.
Okay, so you pulled away. So you guys always have double file restarts, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you rolled the guy on the outside and told him, like, look, here's how it's done, buddy.
Hey.
Like, basically.
You got up and did they have the grip stuff down?
The sticky.
Oh, yeah. You rolled the sticky. He didn't know what hit him.
Likes the sticky. So who's on the radio with you?
Oh, my grandpa.
Oh, yeah. So what's he telling you? Because I know he gets excited. So what's he talking about?
He's like screaming and
Yeah.
Come on, boy.
Are you ever like,
come on, go.
are you ever like, shut the hell up, man? I got a race to win here. Like I know, because my dad used to hop on the radio with me, and we didn't jive on the radio. Like my dad helped me through everything I always did, but I feel like on the radio I had a hard time with that because he gets as emotional and as excited as I do. And I watch Tony a lot while you're racing go-karts and other things, and he's wound up.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's what you do when your family's out there. It's exciting. So anyway, so now you checked out. You're rolling away from him. Grandpa's going nuts on the radio.
Yeah.
Where are you at now? So we're getting close. You let it down to
lap 20.
Lap 20. How many laps is it?
25.
25 lapper. Okay. So
we had a caution. So that's what messed us up.
Who calls that caution?
Kucha.
Kucha? All right.
All right. We need to get that Cobb on here.
No, Cobb of the Week. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what happened. Like, that's a new segment, Cobb of the Week. But no offense to whoever that is. I'm so sorry. But so when you had that restart with 5 to go, now you got to pick inside or outside lane?
Yeah.
Now what'd you pick?
Inside.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know, because it felt good on the inside.
Okay. But you rolled the top in the last one. I'm just saying, these are things maybe you might want to check down. I don't know if Grandpa was in here going, hit the bottom, boy. Like,
If you had it to do over, would you pick the top?
Yeah.
So now, who started next to you?
The 7.
Who's that?
I have no clue.
It don't matter. Go
Some
ahead.
yo.
Yeah. Well, we're going down the back stretch, and it was green, and he turned down on me a little bit, and he spun me out, but the track played my favor, so he went to the back, but
hey, no, and I like that too. I mean, and that's different stock cars than sprint cars. We don't get that. If you spin or both of y'all go to the back, but no, that's kind of cool. So now you restart again. Now who's next to you this time?
Garrett
Larson.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, their family's tough. Like they've run mod minis, super mini late.
And he's got a lot more experience than you've got too.
Yeah.
So
they've been. Well, I don't know how many races he's actually run.
No,
but
he's only raced like 4.
Yeah, he's just a little.
I just
bit
meant,
over.
just age wise.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Well, everybody.
He's probably what? He's not that old though.
Like
I mean, Garrett's
18.
18.
18. Oh yeah, no, he's young too.
He's young too. He's a young
But
shoe.
the Larson family's got a lot of laps of that racetrack. Their cars are. I mean,
The cars are like perfect.
they beautiful race cars. I pitted next to him at the last race. So did he beat you off into 1?
Yeah, no, we raced side by side for about 3 laps, and he pulled away from me.
Oh yeah, so he got you on the outside, and then you tucked her in and pulled it to second.
Yeah.
So let me ask you though, because when I was 10, I was still racing little baby go-karts and had my head in my ass. So when you're 10 years old, leading a race in a full-blown race car, like what are you thinking out there? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm like so nervous.
Yeah, nervous is good.
Yeah.
If you're not nervous, I don't know what the hell.
It don't mean enough to you.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong.
I tell you what.
I was
I
like,
know who
got it.
I know who was way more nervous than you.
Who?
Did you watch your mama's video?
Oh,
I had to watch it. I had to watch it with the
Especially
sound
night
off.
before.
Yeah, I opened it and she was just like, he's leading. And I was like, whoa, turn the sound down.
So you cross the line, you finish second. How do you when did it sink into you that you're like, man, I just did that. 10 years old, just ran second in a race car.
Yeah.
I
I was so excited. Everybody came running up to me, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like,
yeah. No.
I don't know what to do with my hands, like Ricky Bobby.
Hey, you'll have that, but that's exciting. So now you get out. Garrett wins. You run second. Everybody's excited. This is now. I don't know. I see you do one little. Is this your first front straightaway interview, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go? Did you fumble? Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous too my very first time.
Yeah, I was a little nervous on my first one ever at East Bay, my first win, because that's the only time you stop at East Bay is if you win. But I did hear you take a little shot though at the guy.
I didn't hear it, so this is good.
Oh, so you took a little shot at the guy who turned down on you. In your interview, you said, if the 7 hadn't have turned down on me and dumped me, we'd have won that thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. So now you're big time now. You run second here. You're still looking for that first win. Most guys are shit. I mean, Garrett got his first one at 18. There's people 30, 40 years old that wish they could win a race. I mean, winning a race, a race on any level is impressive. Like I'm just telling you. So let's back up there a little bit to give the people who don't know you and know where you're from. So tell us where you started. We all know your grandfather got you into it. You guys come from a racing family. So but you started many, many years ago. I mean, he's 10. He's got a pretty lengthy career here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
the back of his hero card is halfway full, and he's only 10.
Yeah. So tell us how you got started in this whole racing.
I started on go-karts about like 3. We started running Dirt Devils at like 4 because my grandpa at 3 he started pulling me around on the golf cart at our track, and he said, "You ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he put me in a go-kart at Dirt Devils, and I was like, "Where do I start?" And he's like, "The back." And I'm like, "For real?" And he's like, "No, you got to start in the back because you're 4." And I was like, "Okay." And we went out there and won it.
Did you? So you won your first. Okay, so
He was on some goaters.
I want to set you up for something here because winning your first race when you're 4, handful of races into your stock car career, running up front, battling for wins, like it ain't always like this, kid. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. So let's just work on the fact that like some things maybe you're not going to win on your first try. I hope you do. But so when you got started in go-karting here and you started progressing, I was going to say progressing you in your first race, but like you started traveling around, running other places. Did you go run state races, nationals, stuff like that?
I ran Max Daddy. I ran Max Daddy once, and then
You mainly ran the FDCS, the Florida Dirt Championship Series, right?
Okay, which if winning that's as hard as winning anything. So
we ran the Maxi Nationals. We ran there.
Oh, okay.
In South Carolina.
And Nieces?
Yeah.
So you think, some of that stuff really helped you. The competition there is, pretty intense. And the pressure is on you. You're 10. You shouldn't even know what pressure feels like. But so the pressure.
Pressure is a privilege. Kirby Smart.
Okay. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to Google it. But so throughout all this stuff here, like you've been through some pretty intense stuff, got to do, experience a lot of competition early. Like, what are your goals here?
I'm trying to make it in NASCAR, but it never happens. Some people don't make it.
Oh, whoa. Skirt. Hang on. Don't say it never happens.
Oh,
you know why?
Because
every Sunday, there's 40 guys that it happens for.
Yeah.
Is it easy? No.
No. Yeah.
You can ask him. He's had test tryouts and tested cup stuff and truck stuff, and it didn't pan out. But there's guys that it did pan out for.
Right, and see throughout that, like later on, like my goals changed. Like I just wanted to make a living racing, and there was a point where I did that for a while. Whether it was either in the seat or crewing or whatever, I just wanted to wake up and race car be my job. But right now at 10, 100%, your goal should be to race NASCAR. I get that.
And get your damn homework done.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, hey, you got to do that stuff. It matters. It does matter. So, you got to have goals. So that's your goal. So what do you guys plan on doing next after Super Mini?
Sprint car.
Sprint car. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh. Asphalt, dirt.
Asphalt.
Whoa. I smell a challenge.
Hey, I'm way less nervous than the guy's seat he's trying to take. So, I'm just saying, we won't get in on that.
Hold on, is this the right button?
I don't know.
Oh, hang on.
But,
is that the right one?
But so you guys are looking at. So your grandfather said you guys are going to put a crate motor in one of Morgan's other cars and start testing possibly. Is that real?
Yeah, my grandpa's buying it, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. Okay. So when are you looking to make that transition? Because I know guys like Sport Allen and Jeff Gordon, they started racing sprint cars around 13.
Jeff was 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sport was 13. Jeff's first race at East Bay.
Yeah.
Sport ran like top 5. Like everyone talks about Jeff. He was out there getting lapped. Sport at 13 was winning races in a sprint car. Like real deal.
No pressure, Colton.
Hey, I'm telling you, no pressure. So you guys are going to go the sprint car route, which I think is cool. I think it's a great I see a lot of the guys coming out of open wheel ranks right now, and I think it's teaching them a lot for the next level because everything you do after that will be slower. So I think as far as reaction time and stuff like that goes. So now I wanted to get back to something we said when we talked about that 7 car and stuff. Like we know where you're at right now, what you're doing. So in your first 7 races, would you say you have any like rivals? Is there anybody out there gunning for the 10-year-old?
A couple people.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna name them, but
hey, you ain't gotta.
You ain't got to.
But when I figure it out, I'll name them.
Yeah.
Hey, so but do you catch a lot of flack for that being 10 when you go to the drivers' meeting stuff? They look at you like, well, look at this little punk.
Yeah, like I'm gonna wreck you on the feature. Like
Did they say that?
No, but
Good, because I'll smack them.
Yeah.
Unless they're big, then Brian's gonna have to smack them. But I was just curious about how that shook down. If you guys,
So do you feel like the guys race you different because you're 10? Do you feel like they race you harder, or do you feel like they cut you more slack?
Not really. A couple people cut me more slack, but a couple people were like, "Get out of my way!" Like,
they running there like
Yeah.
this 10-year-old's gonna live.
Like Garrett probably runs you pretty clean.
Yeah,
because
Garrett-
y'all are
yeah.
y'all kind of came up in karting.
Yeah.
And
Garrett's a stand up. I mean,
Yeah, but
Garrett
I'm-
can wheel. I've seen him wheel a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh
of
yeah,
things.
but see, I think that you probably catch more flack from the guys that are 40 and just hate it that the bowl is rolling by them.
On
Yeah,
the
but-
outside, especially.
Oh,
But that's the shots fired.
shots fired.
That's the beauty of race cars, though, that I think, and we'll touch on this on a later subject, but I don't think it matters if you're a male or female, if you're 10 or 50. Like when you're racing, everybody's the same size. Like you're a car with a number. You can't see anything else. That's it.
Right.
Like there's no set thing like these like 15-year-olds outperform the 12-year-olds in football because they're a head taller. This that, and in race car you're all the same size. You're all the same race. You're all the same gender. It doesn't matter. So I dig that, but I do know not what it's like to be a 10-year-old, but I was 17, 18 when I started. I do know what it's like for the veterans to drive off in there thinking that, the boy's going to lift.
Yeah. No, and I've experienced that too. I mean, obviously not on the level that you have or that he has, because I didn't get to big cars till I was 16. But 16. But when I moved to senior classes in karting at like 13 and a half, 14, and then we go to the World 100, and I qualified somewhere in the top 10. And I think I ran 6th that year. But them guys didn't want to give me no slack. Like, they would just turn down on me. And at first, I was like, man, why are these guys doing this? And then I started, like, giving it back to them, and I started wadding their shit up. And then it was like, okay, we better not mess with that kid anymore.
You definitely have to stand your ground. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some guys out there going to try to push you around. But, I mean, you got to let them know. And I think you did the right way. You're like, without putting a bumper to them or anything. But, going out there and leading laps and then bringing it home, even though it wasn't the win, you still recorded a second. Like you're still on the front stretch. They're still going to have to wake up the next day, read the scores, and see your name. So I think that's the right way. So you say sprint cars is where you're headed next with your grandpa and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like now, how's grandma and everybody feeling about that?
I haven't really got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really told them yet.
Oh
Ooh,
wow.
What about mama?
Oh, we told her, but not my grandma.
Well, yeah.
How's your mom about it?
I don't know. I really haven't asked her.
Do you really care?
No.
Oh,
You just get out there and do it. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's I've seen what you do over at your grandpa's there with the dirt and the pavement track and the go kart. So the beauty of it for you is I think it's just like you just get out there and race. It's second nature. It doesn't really matter what it is. So I think that's a good thing. Like you have when you're looking on to this, we'll keep jumping around here, but when you're looking on to like where you're headed and what you've done, like if you were saying you're going to mold yourself after someone, what would you say, like who you're looking at, like that's what I want to do?
Like everybody hates on him, but like Kyle Larson.
yeah.
Nobody they hate on him now they hate on Kyle Busch
Yeah.
because he wins. Kyle Larson, he messed up. Okay.
Yeah.
He messed up, but
He did what we said
up
last
until
week,
then,
and his zipper came open. He stepped on it.
Yeah, up until that, he was he was doing things right. He always said
Yeah.
the right things, and he
Yeah.
went out there and he wasn't intimidating or nothing, but he goes out there and he puts it on you, and he leads by example. And I think that's a great one because, and I'm assuming that the reason you chose someone like Kyle Larson because he hops in any car, anytime,
Yeah.
anywhere, and races.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Do you have any dreams to go run dirt at all?
I mean, if I get a chance, like
Yeah. Well,
get that.
because I know Tony ran pavement modifieds, and you're talking about pavement sprint cars, but you come from like me, same thing. We ran dirt go karts.
Yeah.
Ended up on pavement, but then you kind of get labeled, right? So,
Right.
but I was
Pavement.
just-
You get labeled as a pavement princess.
yeah. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that because
Hey.
on Sundays it's pavement, baby.
Hey, exactly. Hey,
Yeah.
so let me just throw this to you, and it's something that me and him touched on, maybe episode 2 or something when we talked about some things. You're going to be ahead of a lot of kids in your
Yeah.
progression, right? and obviously you realize that you're very fortunate for that. But what I want to tell you is just don't get, if you want to be somewhere by a certain age or a certain time period and you're not there, a lot of guys, me and Troy talked about it on that episode and before the show, a lot of guys think that they're too old and they just give up on it and they're done.
Just keep trying.
Just keep going. Just keep digging, dude. Like if you want to be, if you say I want to have this amount of wins or this amount of starts or I want to be in this car by this age and you're not there, that means you just got to work harder to get to where you want to be. Don't give, because I see a lot, I've seen a lot of kids like you that have had, opportunities and then, some things happen or things don't pan out like they want it to in the time frame that they want it to. And then they just kind of like, they hate racing. I'm not racing anymore. Don't give up, dude. Just keep digging.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson didn't get into a late model until he was 25. David Rudiman didn't run a NASCAR race until he was like almost 30.
Yeah.
So like, there's no timetable on that, and I agree completely with what Brian said. The biggest thing to you and to other young kids, I feel like, is the thing you have right now is time is on your side. So you could spend 5 or 6 years in a division and not lose any ground to people. I think that's beautiful. Or you can sit there and focus on something and really hone what you're trying to do. So is there anybody like right now, I mean, we can get into this. Is there anybody right now like you'd like to thank? Like you have any sponsors? I see you got the shirt on here. I mean, we ain't saying you're coming for anybody's seat, but let's just talk about the sponsors and everybody who's helped you get here to this point.
Yeah, Kurt, he's a really big sponsor. He bought like all my tires. And
Mr. Morgan, right? Kurt Morgan? Okay. He's got Morgan Exteriors on here. I see Bath Planet.
Well,
I'll tell you, this kid's got more sponsors than I got. I see his race car. My first race car had a 6 on it. A 6. That was it.
Probably a duct tape 6.
Yeah, no. Wait.
Oh, y'all could afford vinyl for it?
No, yeah. Actually, Laura Pert, Tom Pert.
Gave you some 6s?
They printed my stuff. That was back before she was married to Victor and them. But anyways, back to yours. I'm sorry. So you got Morgan Exteriors. You got obviously your grandfather. Who else you got on there?
Rick's Holland. And a bunch of other people that all support me and stuff, like Nancy's and stuff like that. They support me like big time.
Yeah.
Give your grandpa, Mr. Tony Carino, give his businesses a plug.
Yeah. Tony Carino, Phil Hollers, if you need any dirt or any grading work or stuff, like call him.
There you go.
And
who we got on the pit crew? I know a couple of those rowdy boys.
Oh yeah.
Frank, Hershey.
Big Frank.
Yeah, he's
I like
funny.
Frank. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got John and we got my grandma, my grandpa, and we have my mom, Ricky, and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, no, you got a pot. Hey,
he's got
the ball rolls deep.
He's got the Dirt Devils 06 posse.
Yeah,
That's what he's got.
They roll deep down there. No, and I think it's great. And I love what you're doing. When's your next race? Let's talk about that.
Well, we don't know if we're going to 417, but because we need to get a rear end, and my grandpa said he'll think about it because we have to.
Come on, Grandpa.
Come on, Carino.
He's gonna get that rear end. So, but you've only raced Showtime, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be a first time in a new racetrack.
Yeah.
Now, is this the same cars that are going to go down there? Is this a series, or is it just a local deal?
Well, it's just a local deal. We have to the girl texted us last night and said if you bring like 12 cars like with you from Showtime, and they come and they'll
and then they'll run y'all down there because you guys they don't run the super mini lates down there regularly, right?
No.
Okay. So, but is there a traveling series with the super mini lates that go around, or no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know there used to be back when they used to run DeSoto and Bronson and stuff. A couple of my buddies used to run that.
Kind of the same thing with the Outlaw 4s. They had a little bit of a traveling series there for a little bit too. So, but yeah, Colton. So, you finished second this weekend, and you're also our second guest ever on the show. So I got something I want to give you.
Yeah.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with silver. Hey, sometimes you run second.
Hey, so no, man, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you jumping in the car and driving over here. Just kidding, his mom brought him. And this is, by the way, this is Capri Sun. Y'all saw him put the straw in it. We did not spike it with anything. It is 100% Capri Sun from the grocery store.
And really, we're just hoping that the people look back on this when Colton does great things and be like, hey, All y'all jumping on the bandwagon. We've been on this since he was 10. Okay?
Yeah.
We had him on bench racing when he was 10.
So Colton, when you make it,
He ain't this tall. He's standing on a damn box.
when you get to K&N, or if you get to trucks or anything like that, just remember the old two dumbasses that you did a radio show with.
Hey, I could
hook us up with some hot passes or something.
I could spot, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I could spot.
I've got some spotting experience too, so maybe we'll go in a bid more for that.
Yeah.
I'll take the lowest pay.
Yeah,
I'll work
okay.
for free.
Okay.
Man, I'll tell you what, I've known you and your family a long time. I think it was really cool having you on here. I think you did a great job. Not many 10-year-olds, first of all, can get up and go lead some laps, run second, go out there in a full-blown race car, but
Right.
not many can get out here. You get them in front of a microphone, they turn into, I think my mom,
I like Capri Sun. Yeah.
No, hey.
So also, I just want to tell y'all, he is a big ass 10-year-old, but he's not that big. He's standing on like a 1 foot box so he could reach the microphone. So, but all right, we're gonna go to commercial break. We're gonna let Colton get out of here. I'm sure he's got a bedtime. He's got to go home.
Right.
Take a shower, brush his teeth, read his book, all that stuff he's got to do. Take his AR test.
Y'all follow him on Facebook. Keep up with him. He's one to watch.
Yeah,
for
plug
sure.
your social medias. That's big. You got to make sure you do that. Plug your social medias.
Yeah, Instagram, Colton Bettis.
Yeah.
Just
61.
Colton Bettis 61 on
Yeah.
Instagram. You got a Facebook?
No, I don't.
Do you have? Okay. So make sure y'all. Hey, Instagram is very important. Okay. You got to build
Y'all
a brand.
follow Tony Carino on Facebook because he posts everything.
Yeah. So make sure y'all go follow Colton Bettis 61. That's right, on Instagram. CB61. Hashtag CB61. Hashtag the Bolt. So, all right, man, we're going to let you get out of here. I appreciate it.
See ya.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
job, buddy. Good job.
Yeah, good job. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back with segment 2 here in just a minute.
I didn't either.
Well, we are back from our very short commercial break. And once again, we have a returning sponsor. It's Yates Motorsports, courtesy of Mr. Brandon Yates. And guess what? He sold that Outlaw 4. And remember 2 shows ago, I said I wasn't going to spill the beans. It wasn't my place to say what he had bought. Well, guess what? Yesterday, they rolled in from Georgia with a big, beautiful blue late model.
I've seen it.
I'm excited.
He's way too damn big for that go-kart. And he hauls ass on dirt. So let him run that late model. I'll tell you.
Oh, I mean, he's having fun with the go-kart deal.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
He's
I'm
just hanging
saying,
out.
I just say I see you, him, and Holly out there. It's like they need a super, super heavy for y'all 3.
Whoa.
Y'all boys look like y'all put the go-kart on.
It's just because I'm tall. I'm 210.
Allegedly.
I'm going to get on the scale.
Okay. Stay on track, Dan.
Okay, hang on. You almost ran super heavy last week.
I lost some weight. I got back down to my date weight.
Well, about 2 months ago, you were full blown super heavyweight.
I was super heavyweight. Now I'm flirting with stock medium.
Yeah.
You know, hey.
So, once again, I appreciate Yates Motorsports and my buddy Brandon Yates, John Yates, those guys coming on board once again and sponsoring this segment. And by the way, they still have one Outlaw 4 for sale.
Yeah. Brittany's
car, Brandon's sister, that car is not sold yet. So if you were looking for a top-of-the-line winning car, a car, it's race ready.
Absolutely.
And I believe they've got it on Facebook for $7,000 or $6,500.
Really?
And
that's not bad.
No, it's not. Like you're basically
I
buying
thought you were
the
going to
motor.
say like 17.
No, you're basically buying the motor is what you're buying. Like you can buy that car and you can go to East
Is Brittany
Bay.
moving to late models too?
No, I don't know if Brittany's going to race much, or I talked to Raymond about it, but
Don't have babies and stuff.
yeah. So I have no doubt in my mind you can buy the number 20, the pink number 22 car right now from Yates Motorsports, and you can show up to East Bay or Hendry or anywhere else and easily run top 5. If you're halfway decent, you're going to run top 3. Those cars are that good.
I guarantee everything Yates has can win.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I can't wait to see Brandon in that late model too. That's going to be fun because I don't think he's ever ran anything above like the Outlaw 4s. Maybe he drove a street stock or something a couple nights, but I don't think he's ever owned anything like that. I could be wrong.
Hopefully I get back in Todd Alexander's late model. Get out there.
Ooh, hey, shout out Todd Alexander. Let's get that late model over to Troy's. Let's start putting it together.
Let's go.
We'll make some phone calls.
Hey, I'm ready.
I thought, why haven't we picked it up yet?
Because I'm lazy. No,
too much iRacing.
Well, and Corona and all of everything else.
Corona. All right. So, yeah, appreciate Yates, like I said, coming on board. If you're looking for a top-of-the-line Outlaw 4, please get in touch with my good buddy Brandon Yates or his dad, Mr. John Yates. So, on to the next topic. And this kind of sparked because we had Colton in here. And Colton's like 10 and a half. And he's out there doing
like
his
10
thing.
and 3/8.
Yeah. So, it kind of sparked a topic of like age in racing,
which is, I could go on and on.
This could be a whole show.
I mean, all the way. Like, I mean, the way I feel about it is because it's a double-edged sword. And this is the thing that I think is great about racing as opposed to other sports. Like, you get your kids in baseball, softball, football, whatever it is, depending on if it's a boy or girl, it stops at some point.
Right.
Racing don't. You can race till you're 70, like Sammy.
Yeah.
Still winning, hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag still winning.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys out there like Jimmy Owens out there winning.
Red Farmer's 187.
Yeah, at least. But I mean, you got guys. I mean, Dave Marcus raced till he was 105, and Sterling Marlin's out there getting it done. You got guys who could race forever. But on the other side of that is you got super young guys. You know, Colton. The traditional deal is you don't start till you're 16 to 18 on big car stuff. But like my nephew's 13, he's running Legend cars, about to sprinkle into a super late model as soon as he's old enough or the racetrack start allowing him.
Right.
And you see those guys, these 10, 12, 13-year-olds come up through their 14-year-old wins, blah, 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 and then right around 22 or so, their career levels off and they didn't like plateau. They don't. Some of those guys, like you said when you brought up with Colton, like it seems like they kind of disappear because they think like, oh, you're supposed to go up until you stop, and then like like you could race forever. But
dude, there's tons of them I can name just off the top of my head. The first two that came to mind, Buckshot Jones, Hank Parker Jr.
Well, that's a different story.
Like,
but
I mean,
I look at guys like Cole Witt.
Cole
Witt was one of the baddest dudes, but he didn't get the shake in NASCAR he was looking for, even though he was with Red Bull and stuff. But that team didn't pan out and stuff. He kind of just leveled up, and like, guy could still win any race in the country to use that car, do a World of Outlaw. He could do anything.
Yeah.
But it plays on a lot of things. Like these guys accelerate so fast when they're young. Kyle Busch, like you said, he got in a Cup car. He's 18, 19. And that'll play on to our next topic about that whole Kyle Busch saga.
Just like, how do you feel about this? The mayor, Jeff Burton, said that anytime Harrison found success in a class, anytime he won, they moved him up.
Right. But and you got Jeff Burton, who I felt like retired early, but because
there's no doubt in my mind, Jeff Burton could strap in this Sunday and win.
Jeff Bodine could strap in right now. Like, that's just – but those guys, like, once they get to a cup level and they do some things, like, some of them won't branch back out. Like, Sterling Marlin's running weekly late models right now in Alabama.
And Mobile, right?
Yeah, doing things – and, like, I think that's great. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's awesome. You've seen guys who went up to the top and then returned. Like, Wayne Anderson, I got his diecast from his truck series, and he's out there winning.
The 84 Porter Cable?
He's out there winning races at Citrus County right now.
I got that one at the house.
I like to see David Rudiman still racing.
Right.
Got him a modified, still out there digging.
Big built chassis.
Yeah, I mean, there's no age restriction to racing. There's no too young. There's no too old.
Right.
I mean, there's Jimmy Johnson. If he was living apart, I mean, he ran motocross his whole life. Got into late models late. Did some stuff.
Motocross and the stadium trucks. He ran.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, that's why I appreciate the Robbie Gordons who've run everything
I
and
love
have
Robbie
got to
Gordon.
the top at everything. Kenny Schrader out there digging. I mean, I know, yeah, I don't even want to talk about your man crush on Kenny Schrader. But, you know, I do think sometimes you see somebody push somebody along too young because that sometimes does mess up their mindset. But
Okay, so do you agree or disagree with the Jeff Burton theory? If they win, move them.
if your ultimate goal is to get where Harrison wants to go, yeah, there's no sense in him sitting around winning a bunch of because they have the means to do it. So
Right.
So move him up. I mean, some people like to pad that hero card or do whatever. Like, you know, they'll keep their kid in purple plate till he's damn near 12.
Yeah.
It's like that kid is a foot taller than everybody else. But like, there's no sense in that to me. Like, if you win something, if you got to the point where you can win at it and you can win consistently, move to the next deal, roll on up, because I think that's the best way to keep it fresh, to keep the kid engaged, to keep it going.
If the funds are there, move up.
Yeah, right. But,
Don't run up and be a broke dick.
but what I think is the beauty of it is, like, for Harrison, he can spend 5 years in Cup right now and then enter Cup and still be one of the youngest guys in there.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, he can spend 5 years in Nationwide or whatever they call it.
Xfinity.
Yeah, Xfinity, whatever the hell. And so, like, he's progressed fast enough. Like, now he can stop, take a minute, get it right.
Like a Chase Briscoe. Briscoe's going into like year 4 in Xfinity, and he hasn't found a bunch of success because he was racing against what they called the big three, which was Bell, Reddick, and damn it, I just drew a blank.
Yeah, who's called Custer now?
Yes, Bell, Reddick, and Custer. Yes.
So, like, I mean, Junior, hell, he stayed around until he won 2 nationwide titles. Stenhouse did the same thing. Ricky Craven stayed 1-2. Like, you don't have to move up. And shit, when Craven was winning, he was racing for the championship against a guy like LaJoy.
Randy LaJoy,
like,
an old 74 car.
And Johnny Benson out there. I mean, these guys were older cats getting it done, and like they waited for their time to move up. There's no saying like, and then if you get to Cup, there's no saying like that's where you need to end up. If you're not in the ride you want to be in or getting the results you want, you should be able to step back down a Elliott Sadler, a Todd Bodine, a Ted Musker. Like, you should be able to step back down and go and compete for wins and championships like they did. And I completely agree with it. Like, for a long time, the damn truck deal went through Ron Hornaday, and he was 46, you know, smoking Marlboros and drinking Coors Light. And so half those kids couldn't even hold up the Busch Pole Award win thing. And, hey, but if they wanted to win that race, they were going through Ron Hornaday, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, and this is going to go ahead, and we'll just bleed this into the next topic.
Hang on, I'm not quite done with this one. Because, and we'll get to that topic in a
I was about to
second.
get on one.
Oh, no, just save that. Write it down. So, the age thing. If somebody is, you know, their ultimate goal is whatever, Cup or whatever, or if it's World of Outlaws, or if it's Lucas Oil, or if it's the Cars Tour. I mean, hell, some people's goal was to run the Cars Tour and the super late models. Like, but I'll throw it back to this. Kyle Larson's dad, and I'm sure you know this story because you know Kyle, they race go-karts. They bought a sprint car.
Yeah, they ran outlaw carts, and they went into they had a sprint car.
And his dad told him,
Parker stores.
this sprint car, correct me if I'm wrong, but from the story I've got, his dad told him, this sprint car is the best that I can do. Any ride you get after this car, you got to go get on your own.
Right. And he
So-
did.
He did. He damn sure did.
He did.
And so there's that way to go about it. If you don't have the means, like, you might have to lose a little bit of sleep.
Well, I mean, there's guys who I feel like who can't handle losing, and that's what's going to happen when you move up. Like I was trying to explain to Colton there is like, you know, you're not going to win your first race.
Yeah.
You're not going to go to he's not going to move to super late models in his 6th or 7th race, go out there and bust Bubba Pollard's ass.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
You want it to happen, and sometimes it might if you're
It's the stars align. There's a solar
if you're Chris
eclipse.
Bell or if you're Kyle Larson, whatever. But, you know, when you move up, the beauty of being young, like I said, is you can stay there for a while. You can do whatever. But like some guys have to be winning to be motivated. So like if that certain level you're talking about is all you can do, and to win, like if you can put, instead of buying a super late model, if the best you can do is get a limited late model, but win, or an oatmeal modified or however, and stay there. If you stay in one thing and dominate it, like you get your chances. Like sometimes people go, hey, well, he's dominating that. Like maybe you can do that in mine. That is a way. Or there's people who do progress until they're ultimately like just trying to be, I'm just trying to start and park. And like,
yeah.
And I feel like people get lost in their ways, like a BJ McLeod. BJ was a badass through everything. And then now he is like publicly known as a start and park. Like, and I hate that.
But guess what? It's better than the real job.
Oh, absolutely. It's way better than digging a ditch. Jack Hewitt said, like, I race because I'm too honest to steal and I'm too lazy to work.
Hey, BJ worked his way up in the top 10 last night in an unsponsored Johnny Davis car. He wasn't even driving his own stuff.
I know, and he's doing his thing, and like, but he's the epitome of never give up. I mean, BJ is 2 or 3 years older than me. He's like the same age as Eric. So he's 36 or so, and like,
just keep digging, man.
I mean,
put shit together. Yeah. I know he buys.
Joe Nemechek's still out there digging.
Yeah, and Junior said on Dale Junior Download that BJ comes to his shop and he buys all of Junior's like takeoff parts, and they worked the deal. Junior said, "Hey man, like I really want the number 8 for the Xfinity deal," and BJ was like, "Okay, well, like let me get number 5 and 5 A-frames and this, that, and the other," and that's how they work the deal. Like,
hey, you got to work what you got.
Yeah, I mean,
so, I mean, in the age topic, I mean, like I said, we could bounce around, we could do a bunch of things, but I just agree with, if you're going to race, you race and you're done when you think you're done. Like there's no cap on that. Like I said, the Sammy Swindells and guys like that, definitely Red Farmers definitely prove that.
Yeah, Buzzy Rudeman.
Yeah, I mean they're just timeless, these guys.
Yeah. But
there's no shame in going, hey, look, this is where we're at, and like this is where we got to stay. Or if you get a couple notches up, backing down and going like, you know what? I just want to be the baddest dude in trucks, like Todd Bodine. Like,
yeah.
Do whatever. I mean, he was running that 75 Cup car and was running around 25th plus, doing whatever. But he's like, I'd rather win truck races. And like, that's the deal. But that's what. Don't get me fired up on this next thing.
That's going to go to our next topic, and let me cut him off there before he gets all wound up. So our next topic, we're going to talk about, because it is Tuesday, May 26th. And last night, Rowdy, Kyle Busch.
He's the best in the business, whether you love him or hate him.
Won the Xfinity race at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Dude's a racer. In
a race that he didn't dominate. In a race that he led some laps, but he didn't dominate. He won it with a last lap pass. And NASCAR on NBC posted an article or a video. NASCAR on Fox posted a video. And what is the first thing you see? People in the comments saying, he's stealing wins from the kids.
No, I hate that shit.
I can't. Oh my God! I'm gonna throw this mic. I can't stand it.
Whoever signs up, like I feel like every Cup driver should be allowed to sign up in every nationwide race, every truck race, every local Saturday night dig. Like, depending on who you are or what you're doing, like I feel like if you have moderate success in Cup, it's okay. If you're like Mr. Second Place, like Mark Martin is one of the top 10 Cup drivers of that I ever seen, but he never got the recognition because he's the Dan Marino. He never won.
Just like Handsome Harry.
I'm saying Harry Gant. I'm with you. Like the same deal, but like nobody batted an eye. Like everybody forgets. Like whose record did Kyle Busch break for Grand National wins? Mark
Martin.
Yeah,
and the 60 win Dixie car.
Shout out Steve Meal and them. Yeah. Like, like nobody cared. Like they wouldn't enter but 10 or 12 a year, and he'd win 11. Like he never lost.
Right.
In that Winn Dixie car. And nobody said nothing. And like nobody said nothing when Skinner, Hornaday, Bodine, those guys back down.
Nobody got mad when Harvick was running KHI and driving his own stuff. Nobody got mad when Tony Stewart was driving for KHI.
The problem is Kyle's too good. He's so good.
Everybody hates a winner.
And what I want people to really, really understand is nobody hired Kyle Busch to do interviews. Like, nobody hired him. They hired him to drive a damn race car. Like, I've said it 100 times. Like, did Michael Jackson touch little boys? Maybe. But if you want a platinum record, you better call that, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, don't invite Mike Tyson over to your brunch. But in 1988, you're getting knocked out in the first round. Yeah. Like these guys, and you put a microphone in front of either one of, like, they're not the best at that, but they're the best at what they do. And his occupation is race car driver. And when they line a race car up and you see Kyle Busch, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't going to be good. But nobody says anything when Kyle Larson, Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, these guys run Outlaws and do stuff and win. They're like, oh, it's so great to have you back and blah, blah. That's why I love the dirt fans, and I love that shit.
You're connecting with grassroots racing. Yeah. But then you say that about the dirt fans, but then you get the dirt fans on there talking about, oh, well, he's just stealing from little kids. He
ain't stealing. If that kid, if you want it, like, I'm telling you right now, when I played ping pong against TJ when he was 8, and I serve it at him like I'm Pete Sampras. Like, hey, if the kid wants to win, he's going to have to earn it. I played pool against him. I clear the table. He's still got 6 balls left. And I'm like, hey, grow up. You know what I mean? Like, that's
win.
Hey, if you want this, you better come get it. Like, it doesn't matter the opponent. But, like, there's guys, if they didn't have success, like, I played in a flag football league with my brother and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, that guy played for the Bucks, and this guy played for the Storm. But he wasn't a Hall of Famer, so no one gave a shit. Yeah. But, like, if Tom Brady came out and played on your league, they'd all lose their mind. And it's like, no, dude, if you want to win, you got to beat who signs up.
Right.
And if you can't do that, guess what? You probably shouldn't sign up. Like, and do you really want to win if they're not there? The best thing that can happen for somebody in Nationwide right now is if Rowdy's in the race and a Chase Briscoe or that kid who smashes watermelons or whatever, if they go out there and outrun him, everybody immediately is going to look at that kid and be like, hang on. I remember my boy Cale Gale put it on. Hey,
and at Homestead in the trucks.
Banging on him. Like,
that's the best victory lane interview I've ever seen. He said, I'm just a racer from South Alabama. And I know Cale's your boy.
Yeah, Cale and Bubba Gale, I love them. I'm just saying, like, that's what I think helped, like, make his career. You know, everybody noticed when Kyle Larson was coming up and he beat Rowdy at Bristol in the Xfinity Nationwide, whatever the hell it was called then. Like, that's what I think makes it. Is what makes a snowball derby cool. Is like you're racing against Eric Jones, you're racing against Kyle Busch, you're racing against Landon Castle. I mean, you're racing like you put the names in there. That's what it means something.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Briscoe outran him last week at Darlington, but it's like you ask the drivers, and most of them are going to tell you that they want to run against the Kyle Bushes, and people hate on Kyle for doing it, but hell, they've got restrictions on him now. He can only run a certain amount of races a year, but nobody gets mad when Keselowski comes down and wins a race. They don't get
Carl
mad.
Edwards did it for a long time.
Yep. They don't get mad when Edwards did it. They don't get mad when Joey comes down and wins a race. Ryan Blaney comes down. Eric Jones. I mean,
Earnhardt used to do it. Dale Jr. used to do it at Daytona and Talladega, getting ready because they've limited so many of the testing and whatnot.
And the only Gibbs driver that doesn't run Xfinity races now is Truex. Hamlin, Jones, and Kyle Busch run Xfinity. But everybody gets mad when Kyle does it because I go back to everybody hates a winner. But it's just because he doesn't follow the narrative. And there's some people on my Facebook, and you know what? Every time y'all's asses pop up,
dude,
I'm mute
Brian's
y'all.
in his feelings right now.
I'm mute y'all because I cannot.
He's got a
stand
poster
y'all.
of Kyle Busch over his bed right now.
No, I don't. So like, I can't stand it because
I'm the same way.
You watch it and then you get on Facebook and it's just somebody on there bitching about Kyle winning the race. Well, guess what, you old ass? You will I don't care. I will say it.
Damn, Alexis, you getting fired up.
He is better than Dale Earnhardt. read it and weep.
I mean, arguably, I could see that. I mean, he is. It's hard because it's two different generations, two different things. I mean,
it's harder to win in Cup now than it ever has been.
The Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Busch thing will go on like the LeBron versus MJ. There's no way to really do it because they didn't face head to head, or like how when Jeff Gordon was beating Earnhardt on his way out, and Gordon was in his prime. There's no way. Okay, I mean, that's just like when Earnhardt came along and he was putting it on Dale and he was just a young kid. And the comparisons, I think, are irrelevant. All I know is today.
You told me off air you agree.
I do agree.
Okay, that's all
what I'm saying is in our lifetime, I don't feel like we'll see anything better than Kyle Busch.
You won't.
I hope we do. Like, I think it'd be great if somebody comes along. And the next thing I think is close to that is like a Kyle Larson or a C. Bell or these guys. But, like, there is nobody better at what he does than Kyle Busch. Like, that's it. And now, if you want to wear the NASCAR patch, and I don't think, and that to me, that could be NASCAR Whelen, NASCAR K&N, NASCAR Trucks, Grand National Cup, whatever. Once you get to that, like once your job is race car, because like don't be fooled, everybody. Like those nationwide guys, like that's not minor league baseball. And guess what happens when you don't make it in the MLB? You go back to the minor leagues, and there's guys who make a career out of that. And that's where they go to rehab. That's where they go to get better. That's the same thing Cup guys do. But if Kyle Busch went back to Nation or Xfinity, god dang. If he went back to Xfinity and ran fifth every weekend, nobody would say shit. But the problem is because he is good and because he does win. But I stand firm on running second to Kyle Busch is better than winning a race without those guys in it.
Yeah, and what I was gonna get at when I say all you dumbasses on my Facebook,
he's getting real personal.
That piss and moan. Like, listen. You sit here every week and you bitch when he wins a race. Instead of just sitting back and enjoying what you're watching, like y'all enjoyed racers of the past when there was 5 or 6 damn cars on the lead lap at the end of the race. Yeah, tough competition there. But instead of sitting back and enjoying what you're watching, enjoying the greatness, you have to find something to bitch about.
Well, see, everybody like applauds the Chase Elliott's and everybody who's taking the challenge to come knock Kyle off in the truck or do whatever, and they think that's cool.
Yeah.
But they aren't saying nothing about the fact that they're still a Cup racer, and it's like, okay, so Chase Elliott and Kyle both came into the thing at 18, 19. So you're saying once you're 18 or 19, like the only thing he can race for the rest of his life is Cup?
Yeah. And
that's a little silly.
It's the second coming of Jesus when Chase Elliott is going down and running an Xfinity race or going down and running a truck race.
He's a lot better at interviews, and that's what people really like. They get wrapped around. It's like, they fall in love. Like they watch American Idol, and they're like, this guy, my dog's got cancer, and like I came from a farm that's, they were going to shut down. I don't give a shit. Can you sing? Like I don't care if you got one leg, if you got mesothelioma. I don't care what you look like or whatever.
There's going to be some people that got the hurtphelioma after this one.
Just sing the song. And as far as racing, I feel like is, who it didn't matter if they sign up, race.
Yep.
Like that's it. And if you want that trophy, go get it.
Yeah.
Because what happens if some of the greatest racers you ever seen in the world you never heard of or got stuck, like running just one particular series their whole life and they dominate and then they get cast as a legend, like Dick Trickle. That guy had Cup talent. He's got like 1,500 short track wins, but it's like because that's where he was at. He didn't get his Cup shot till he was like 40 something.
Yeah, and you got like Jason Keller.
Well, I'm just
Randy
saying,
LaJoy.
I mean, some of these guys have elite talent, but this is what they get to race. And just because they didn't get to expose it or show it off or showcase it, however you want to say it, like they'll never get looked. I mean, Scott Bloomquist gets Steve Kinzer. They're known as legends at what they do, and it's because they stayed and did the same thing. And not taken from, I think that's amazing. Like everybody wishes they could be a Scott Bloomquist or a Steve Kinzer, but I'm just saying, like, nobody hates on them for taking wins from a Brandon Overton or
Jonathan Davenport.
Yeah, these guys who are younger who didn't jump up the ladder. Like, so what? So what? All I'm saying is what they need. It's an open entry. Whether you run amateur crate at Dirt Devil or you run Cup, like if they sign up, that's who the hell you got to beat that day. End of story.
Well, if there's no benchmark, like if there's no guys that are the regulars that you're there to beat, then what the hell's the point?
Then nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it. If a local guy, like let's just say a Kenny Monahan or a Jeff Matthews or a Stevie Mathis, they're running Lucas Oil tonight at East Bay. They're running Lucas Oil. Well, guess what? If half the Lucas Oil field wasn't there and they won, it would not mean as much. But do you think that people are going to bitch because they were racing against Jonathan Davenport, Kyle Bronson, all these big names? No, it's stupid.
Yeah, everybody gets in their feelings. That's just, whoever they put out there is who you got to beat, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Like I ain't got nothing else to say about that.
Hey, if you can't beat them, either you got to go get better, or you got to go back home. You got to go back to the shop, and you got to get your shit better. And guess what? If you can't get it better with the money that you got, you better go out and find some money. You better go out and find some sponsors, because ain't nothing free in this world, and ain't nobody gonna hand nothing to you. You got to go get it.
No, but if you go out there and you do happen to knock one of them off their perch there, that could be the night that catapulted you.
If you build it,
they will come.
They will come.
No, I agree. Hey, you know what? I like it for once that you got in your feelings. You're out here beating on the table, doing everything. So you can see it ain't me, folks. Like, it ain't me. I'm not the only one who's salty. I'm not the only one with opinions. Like, Mr. Brian, he gets excited. Hey, this is what we do need from y'all. We need some help. Shoot us some stuff. Like, if you got some topics like this one that'll get him excited, get you excited, shoot them to us. Let us know. We'll talk about it. Hey, we love things that's got two sides, and that's the beauty of racing, is not everybody's going to agree. Some people are going to be Earnhardt fans. Some people are going to be Gordon fans. Some people are going to be Petty. Some people are going to be Pearson.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it's going to go.
Forever 43, by the way.
Yeah, but you just got done hating on the old timer, so I'm not even going to talk about that.
No, I just kidding.
But, hey, I'm with it. Racing is racing. Whoever shows up that day for Petty's 200 wins, he beat who showed up. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
The end.
And then he ate Kentucky Fried Chicken with Ronald Reagan.
That's it.
Hey, so listen, shoot us some topics. This one kind of got me fired up, and I can't wait to hear people get all pissed off about what I said. And actually, just to throw this out there, Troy agreed to that as well. But I will say this. I cannot wait till the day that Kyle Busch passes Dale Earnhardt in all-time Cup wins. That will be, next to my wedding day, that's going to be the second greatest day of my life.
Oh, God.
When he hit 70, I think Earnhardt's got 76.
You just put your whole redneck out there. Like, you just let it hang out. Get over that.
No, I think that
hit the button in the segment.
No, listen, Dale's got what, 76 wins?
79 probably.
I think 76, something like. As soon as Kyle passes it, that's the day.
Well, we all remember when Jeff Gordon passed it. We all remember when Jimmy Johnson passed it.
But you know what's gonna be more memorable? When Kyle Busch does it. You know why? Because he's got more haters than Jeff Gordon ever had.
Oh, God. All right, I'm done with this episode. Press the button.
We got to go back here and work.
Wind us out of here.
Make sure you're following us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace.
Fans only. Dude, all right. Anyways, shoot us some topics, maybe some poll questions. We'll get after it. Brian, hit the button, get us out of here.
All right, we'll see y'all next time. We appreciate it.